All right, Chapter 3, Video number 6, Measures of Position, Part 2. Here are our student learning objectives for this video. First, we'll learn how to calculate the 5-number summary. Then we'll calculate the IQR, which is also the inner quartile range. Then we'll find the upper and lower fences that determine the outliers, if there are any. And then you'll construct a box plot. So the first thing I'm going to teach you is called the 5-number summary. The 5-number summary is shockingly made of 5 numbers. The first one is the minimum. The second one is Q1, which if you will recall is the 25th percentile. The third one is the median. The fourth one is Q3, which is, if you recall, is the 75th percentile. If you don't remember that, take a look at video 5. It's enchanting. You will love it. And then the last one is maximum. So 5-number, minimum, Q1, medium, Q3, and the maximum. Let's do a problem together. Right, so let's take a look at this. First, we find our minimum. That would be 4. Then we look for our maximum, 26. And now we need to just order these and find Q1 and Q3. So let's do this. 4, 8, 10, 10, 10, 11, 12, 15, 15, 15. Oh, forgot 14. Let's put that one on there. 14. And then 24 and 27. 26 and 27. Let's count, make sure we have it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's correct. Now let's find out Q1, which is 25 times 14 over 100. Now we go. So for Q1, we end up with 3.5, which is our position. It's not actual Q1. We go round up because 3.5 is not a whole number. So we go to 4. There's Q1, the 4th position, right? The median would be 50 times 14 divided by 100. That's the 7th position. Since 7th is a whole number, we take halfway mark between the 7th and 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Halfway between these two. And that should give me 13. The average between 12 and 14. Right? Then for Q3, we take 0.75 times 14 over 100. And then we take the 10.5, and that's a 10.5 position, it's half, and then we move up to the 11th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So Q3 is 15. So these are my 5-number summary. 4, 10, 13, 15, 26. Excellent. 5-number summary. The inner quartile range is also known as the IQR, and it is simply the middle 50%. So it is Q3 minus Q1. So the middle 50%. So if you have all your data, it's going to be the stuff that falls in the middle 50%. Then there'll be 25% out here, 25% out here. This part is the middle 50%. That's known as the IQR, is the length of that middle 50%. So let's take a look at how we would do the IQR for this particular example. It would just be 15, which is our Q3, minus 10, which is 5. IQR is 5. It's fantastic! Fantastic! Woohoo! IQR. It's kind of like IQR. Okay, so now we're going to use the same exact numbers and examples to talk about how to find fences and outliers. An outlier is anything that is outside the fence. So the way you find the fence is you figure out what the IQR is, and then you look at Q3 and you go 1 IQR and then a half more IQRs. If you have a number up here, woo, outlier, then you look at Q1 and you go 1 IQR and then down one more half IQR. If you have a number down here, it's an outlier. Outliers are unusually large or unusually small data in your set compared to the rest of the data. So we define that as 1.5 times the IQR. Anything that is more than Q3, that's the upper fence. Anything less than Q1, that is the lower fence. There we go. So the upper fence looks like this. Upper fence. So this is 15 plus 1.5 times 5. So it's 15 plus 7.5, which is 22.5. The lower fence is 10 minus 1.5, 5 times 5. 10 minus 7.5. 2.5 is the lower fence. So outliers are 26 and 27 and 24. Those are outliers. There are no lower outliers. Anything above 22.5, anything below 2.5 is an outlier. Now we are going to construct a box plot. A box plot is a fun little graph that helps you, it's particularly useful in comparing different types of data. So first thing you do for a box plot is draw your line, and number line, start your lower value and count up to your upper value. I'm going to count up by 5, so there's 5, now I'll just 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 20, 25, there's 30. So to make a box plot, you put 5 numbers at the 5 number summary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next thing you want to do is you need to figure out where your upper and lower fences are. Remember, the R's were at 2.5. We don't have to worry about this because there's no lower outliers. The other one's at 22.5, so we have an upper fence here. So our next thing we need to do is determine where the next highest number is that's not in the upper fence. So 27, 26, 24, those are all outliers. Our next number is 15. So we're going to go to our next number that's 15 right there. All right? So our box is our middle 3 numbers. So you draw a box on the middle 3 numbers. Notice that this is the IQR, this length right here is the IQR. We draw a box around it. We draw our whisker from this to Q1. Then we draw another whisker here to the next highest number, but in this case, we don't have a whisker because our next highest number is 15. So we're just going to stop there. And then we put a dot at each of our outliers. And we usually do them as stars so that people know that they're outliers, because they're stars or they're outright liars, one or the other. So you have this. This is the box plot for this data set. Let's try one more example. So I am going to do this whole tallest building problem on my TI-89 calculator. So I'm going to put the steps on one side, and then I'll put the little screenshots on this side. Okay, the first step is to add everything into the stats list editor. I'm going to put it all in list 1. My next step is to choose F4, one variable stats. I get this screen. I scroll down. You scroll down and you get this now. You get your 5-number summary. Look at that, the whole 5-number summary right on your calculator. Isn't that joyous? Now, 5-number summary. You can easily calculate the IQR now on your own. IQR Q3 60 minus 50 is 10. So I have to do the IQR by hand. However, we can make our calculator design us a box plot. So our next step is to clear out of this. So hit escape and choose F2 for plots. Then you need to choose F1 define, so we can define our plot. So F1 define. It's going to ask you what plot type to choose. So you're going to choose modified box plots. The modified box plots give you outliers. So it will calculate whether or not you need an outlier or not. So you choose modified box plot. And then where it says X right here, you're going to type in list 1. So now it should look like this. Notice you have a modified box plot up here and a list 1 right here. Right? And now we're going to hit OK. And then we come back to the main screen. So at this point, now we have everything set up like this. It has a little box plot there with the modifiers, and it shows list 1. Now we're going to hit F5 zoom data. Now you have F5 zoom data. Then you end up with this right here. If you want to see what these marks are, you can choose F3 trace. Now as I use my arrow keys, I get to see the median, Q3, Q4 is the maximum, and then the minimum. All right there. The coolest thing about the box plot is that it's great for comparing two sets. So take a look about real cheese and substitute cheese and how much they vary in calories. So the substitute cheese is much tighter together. You'll notice that the IQR is pretty small. IQR is pretty big. So this is this makes a symmetric distribution. If they are even on both sides and the median's in the middle, you end up with a symmetric distribution. When they're not even on both sides, then you end up getting more of a skewed things like that. So it's awesome. So thank you for watching, And this is the end. And I hope you guys are having a great day.